Anyway, that video got cut off somehow. I didn't cut it off, but whatever the case, um, if they shock the world, they shock it. But nobody's expecting that. Nobody's expecting that. And this is me talking about the Brooklyn Nets continuing where I left off. But you know what I mean? My thing about the Brooklyn Nets has always been this: they're made some great moves since getting KD off the team, getting Kyrie off the team. They made some moves that brought them some small forwards that I really like, and I've talked about that on a video previously that I encourage everybody to watch. But as far as them doing damage in this year's playoffs, it's absolutely not happening. It's not happening. Like that. Come on, man. So let's get that out the way. Um, what else? It's just the Eastern Conference doesn't have much parity, man. It doesn't. The Washington Wizards in the play-in tournament possibilities of that, and it's Indy down there. They're exciting to me, to be honest with you. If they can crawl into the playoffs, I think they have a chance to steal a game from Giannis or somebody. Like that's what I think of some of these teams. You know, Atlanta got a chance to steal a game, 2 games maybe, if they're firing on all cylinders. But the Eastern Conference is not necessarily built on paper to really withstand the top heaviness of those top 3 teams. It's just not. There's nothing to really see. It's just waiting for those rounds to get out the way so those teams can battle it out. And so, with that being the case, it's not a whole lot to talk about. Even if there is something to talk about, it's just going to plateau unless injuries ruin it for everyone. So that's what I have to say about that, man. Good health for everybody. It's Giannis and Joel's Eastern Conference in my mind. I just really think that this year. Sorry, Jason Tatum. I just don't think y'all can. I don't think so. I really don't. I'm not saying they're going out in the first round, but I wouldn't be surprised if they do. If anybody can get upset this year in the first round, it's Boston. So that's what I'm telling y'all. And I didn't feel that way early on in the season. I said they were close to getting a championship, but as of late, and I mean as of most recent, late last couple of weeks, I just haven't seen a whole lot of strength coming out of them. Almost like they're plateauing too. Like I said about maybe the Sacramento Kings. If they're plateauing, it's not the right time to do so. So that's just what I see there. Cleveland. That's the team I'm forgetting about. Now, they are the team in the Eastern Conference. I'll tell you right now. They are the team that doesn't have the old core, that hasn't defined themselves. You don't know who they are just yet. They got some players on the back of the bench who has done some good things. I'm curious. And in the modern era, Donovan Mitchell is capable of scoring 71 points. So why wouldn't I think he could do something crazy in the playoffs? I think he can do something crazy in the playoffs. He's already done something crazy in the playoffs. And that dude has had a good time enjoying the Eastern Conference this season. So as far as I can tell, he can define who he wants to be in regards to that team. And that's, as I said, proven playoff performer. I wouldn't be surprised if they come out of the East. I just don't think they have a very good bench. That's what it really comes down to. They got a few guys, but they don't have enough guys. So I don't think it's realistic for them to really do any damage in the playoffs based on that truth. Um, and see, that's what it really comes down to. When you look over at Sacramento, it's like, Cleveland, you might want to start doing what Sac's doing. That's exactly what I'd say to Cleveland. It's like, yo, y'all need more players. Y'all need a lot more young players. So that's all it is. I like what's going on with them continuing to develop the ones that they have, though. Garland's amazing. It's not like they're lacking the top heavy nature of young players. Mobley, one of my favorite players. Of course, we love Allen here as well. They got a great starting 5. But at the back of the bench, they could afford to use some nice draft picks to kind of boost everything that they need. They overall have there. So that's what I would try to do. Just get in the middle of the first round, early second round picks. Just get as much of that as you can, and then try to turn it into a bench. By way of trade, of course, or something like that. So that's what I say about Cleveland, because they got a lot of players that are eating up top of their cap situation. So just like I say about all teams that ultimately have so much money wrapped up in like 3 and 4 players, is you must find something out of nothing to make your bench make sense, so you can be deep enough to actually beat some of these teams and withstand injury. I always say the same thing. So it is what it is. So yeah, that's what it is with Cleveland, man. I think Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland, if they choose to, they can define themselves as champions. Really, who knows who they prove themselves to be? They have the length to match up with anyone. When you consider Mobley and Allen. So, if they can get something from the guys on their bench, they'll go far. NBA champion like Cedi Osman, if he can step outside of himself and play at a high level, that'll help a lot. A guy like Caris LeVert, needs to play well. I haven't really seen him step up in the stats when I glance at their team the little times that I do, but we know what he's capable of doing. If he can jump into some consistency, he would help a lot. Those are the type of things. Those are the questions I would need answered in the playoffs in regards to the Cleveland Cavaliers. Who's that kid? What's his name, man? I can't think of it. A small forward. He had a big defensive play in the last game. Isaac Okoro, I believe is his name. That's another player who's starting to really, really play well again. He had some bad injury issues early on in his career, if I'm not mistaken, a broken leg or something like that. I'm not sure, but he's starting to get back in form and improve what he can do on both sides of the floor. And I know what he can do on defense, and he can fly. So that's somebody that I think can start to do some good and shoot the three. I don't want to leave that out as well. He can definitely hit the three. That is what it is with Cleveland. If they have a strong enough bench and players that I'm not aware of, if those guys step forward and really, really do great things, they can do damage. Because their starting five is tough. It's real tough. Maybe this is a team that shrinks their bench. You know what I mean? If ever there was a team I would say shrink your roster down to 9, I'd probably be Cleveland. Because most of their players are young enough to where if I have to lean on guys for 40 minutes a game, it'd probably be a roster like that. All their guys are young. So I think, Allen's probably, who's the oldest guy in that? It's probably Donovan, right? Or Allen? That boy's young. So the future's bright there. They just got to find something out of nothing to make their bench tight, and after that, they'll be cool. That's what I see there. The Eastern Conference basically looks like it's going to belong to Giannis or Joel. And as much as Joel has been dealing with in regards to the MVP and all of that, I'm just starting to circle around this thinking that it might be a Philadelphia year. It might. It just might. I don't know. Really, I mean, it's not like I'm watching those teams. So, but who knows, man? Who knows? I'm a Western Conference guy. At the end of the day, my team over here, we trying to take over everything. And I think the only teams I'm really afraid of is the teams over there with those monsters. So, I'm ready. I'm ready to rock. I think there's still obviously more work to do with all these teams in the Western Conference. I'm curious to see if Dallas is going to stay outside of the playoff situation, which really looks strange to me when you look at the standings. But that's what it was last I checked. Maybe they're playing right now. Maybe things have shuffled since. But the NBA has given us so much, man. I got to appreciate everybody for taking the chance to click on this second video. As usual, I never intend to do 2. It just happened. I don't even think I hit anything. It just clicked off. I don't know if somebody from the Brooklyn Nets was monitoring me and didn't like what I said and had me shut off. I don't know. It wouldn't shock me. Anything's possible. But nevertheless, that's what I feel, man. My name is BDF44. I thank you all for watching.